Hey guys, Doug here. We're back with another Tech Tip Tuesday, and it's a little bit different this time around because we're at South Georgia Motorsports Park, and we're with Tommy Kirk of Mac Fab Beadlocks. This is a cool one because let's talk about something that doesn't relate directly to me, but Tommy and crew just beadlocked my new wheels for my Nova, and we thought it'd be a good idea to give you guys some info, why you should beadlock, the advantages, how they do it, a little bit of all that. So. Tommy, why should people be beadlocking drag radials instead of
it's
screwing them?
It's not what you would think most of the time. Most people, when they think of beadlocks, it's mainly just, hey, I can change my own tires, or
they look fancy,
cool,
yeah,
you know, that kind of thing. But the main reason we emphasize beadlocks is just for safety. And it really came to light when everybody started running the radial stuff. And what most people don't realize, a radial tire can weigh 15, 20 pounds more than a slick of the same size.
Yep.
So when you have that much more weight and you go to screw into it, for one, the weight of the tire will much easier make it move on the rim. But for the second one is, with it being a thicker steel belted radial, the screw never actually penetrates the bead properly. So where you got a bias ply or a slick, it can actually screw into the side and the bead of the tire and bite in.
Yep.
A radial never. You're just taking and pushing the radial, the bead away from the seat of the tire. So where you would normally, if this was a non-beadlocked rim, the tire would push up against this surface here on the outside bead, and it would seal. Well, if you try to screw it, it just pushes the bead off of the surface. So it actually is, you're helping it lose air,
yeah.
You know, so, and become unsafe. So with the beadlocks, really, we just push the safety aspect. I had a guy come up yesterday afternoon and said, hey man, I've got this, stock suspension Mustang, and it's only running this fast, but I'm 112 60 footing without beadlocks or screws with a radial, and it's moving 6 inches every time I make a pass.
Wow.
Well, he's lucky to be alive sitting here telling this without his stuff crashed. But
because one tire could have potentially go
so
faster than
that's
another.
that's what he found out. One side was slipping 6 inches, the other side was slipping 2.
Yeah.
So he showed me a video of the car, and what was happening was the car was driving left because the driver's side tire was slipping 6 inches.
Sure.
So the passenger side, it wasn't slipping as much, so it was getting more traction driving the car left. So typically what happens with it from a safety aspect, either in the burnout, it just sucks away from the bead, because the tire grows a little bit. Now it's less with a radial. Radial doesn't grow like a slick, but it still will suck it off. And the worst part is on the outside, he asked me, hey, is a single beadlock better than a double beadlock? Well, no. You want double beadlocks if you can put double beadlocks on it, but the problem is the bead of the tire can slip easily down into this void, versus the rear on the back side, you have a much deeper bell.
Sure.
It's not going to slip off the back like it would the front. So
single, if nothing.
Single is still better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it's not recommended for these high horsepower applications. If you're 110, 120, 60 foot, and a single beadlock, yeah, it's okay.
Well, the inside of the tire moves still.
That's
kind of dangerous.
That's why we don't recommend it. If you do run a single beadlock, at least Permatex high tack the backside. Let it pump it up to about 25 pounds of air pressure. Let it sit overnight.
Okay.
Let it cure properly. Because people say, well, you got guys running no beadlocks and it's in a glued tire. Well, the thing is, they're probably running a 10-inch rim with a 10-inch tire. That's fine.
Once you start stretching.
But once you go to take a 10-inch tire and put it on a 12-inch rim, it's trying to suck the bead in constantly.
Without doing anything.
Without doing anything. At all times, just trying to suck that bead in. So,
over the years, I've seen some tires tear because of screws. Is that a fear on a slick, or is that only radials that tend to tear like that?
They'll still tear.
Okay.
But the type of screw that like Mickey Thompson they recommend for a slick, it's just a cone shape. It's not made to cut or dig. So they will work. People still do it all the time. But the thing is, when you get past the safety aspect, hey, even the guys with the slicks, they have to go to a tire machine and change their tires, pull the screws out, change them. Well, if you had beadlocks, you can just change them yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple screwdrivers and pop them on and off, and you're done.
Yeah. So for the hardcore racer, it definitely speeds things up and gives you.
But our aspect is really we do this for the safety side of it. It's not for you know, the looks as much as the safety, because we've seen a lot of guys. I've watched many a wreck due to beadlocks, even beadlock tires slipping if you don't torque them properly. So we recommend 22 to 24 foot-pounds of torque. It takes about 8 to 10 rounds to properly torque a beadlock ring.
Wow,
if you
10 times around?
Yeah, if you go around and you say, hey, I did mine in 4 times, you're actually warping that ring. Because you're pulling it too much at one time.
Sure.
You can warp the outside ring. These things are made of 6061 aircraft aluminum, so they're pretty strong. For our higher horsepower applications, we do a 70-75 outside ring because it's even stronger.
Sure.
The tensile strength. But
so when you do it, when you are torquing it, is it better to start at like 3-4 pounds and just progressively work your way up?
I tell people take a regular hand drill. Just a hand drill with a clutch. Not in the drilling position. Buy you one of them little 3/8 adapters. Start it on about 5 or 6. Most of them go to like 12, 15 on the torque. And just use a hand drill. Do not use an impact. We do not recommend the impact at all. There are people that do them all the time. You're going to go through, but those guys are pros. They've taken these things on and off a bunch. But at the end of the day, they run them up and they still torque them. You go by Stevie Fast Pit, he'll run them up with an impact, but he will torque them before he's done. So it's really important, because if you don't, what'll happen is if you just run them up, you make a couple passes, they can loosen if they're not torqued properly. So we
probably should add that to our checklist, huh?
Yeah, we probably need to torquing your beadlock, and then you make a couple passes, check them. You don't have to go back and re-torque everything. Just check them, make sure they're not loose. Sure. Because a brand new tire, if you didn't center it properly on the shoulder of the beadlock, or you got it off a little bit, and then it finally does seat after you make a pass, or it stretches the bead a little bit, it's always good to do
it's
that.
another bolt to come loose when you shake the tires or whatever too. So this is really cool. These guys actually come out to Lights Out, No Mercy, and some other races, but you can also ship them your wheels. They actually do it on site, so we'll take a video right now and show you guys how they beadlock it.
If anybody watches this video, if they ship their wheels in to us and they say they saw it on Motion Raceworks, we'll pay the shipping back.
There you go.
So you get free shipping back, even though you can't be here.
That's a good deal. Tech Tip Tuesday and a deal.
So what we do right here, this is the weld-on ring. We knurl it. It's a really deep knurl. This knurl sticks up about 40 thousandths. Can't really tell, but it's really aggressive. So this is on the inside. So the inside of the bead of the tire will rest against this. If you look at a tire, typically the outside is very smooth of the bead, but the inside is really rough. And so when you take a rough surface and made it to a rough surface, you actually get a much better gripping. Sure. So we don't beadlock the outside unless it's like Stevie Fast. You know, if you're making 4,000 plus horsepower, we're going to knurl everything we can and put as much clamping pressure as we can. We've been racing together since we started the beadlock business, and he pretty much tests everything. All of our designs, he tests them all. So he's pretty good when it comes to testing. He can break about anything. So. He's good at breaking stuff.
The other question and fear I think a lot of people might have is they have such a tight space. Can you guys actually keep from widening the wheel when you do it?
Yes. So when we beadlock a wheel, we actually cut enough off to put the bead of the tire exactly where it would be if it was in a factory location of the wheel. Factory wheel.
So you don't have to worry about
it's
running into fitment.
But what's really cool is we can take off about inch off the back. So let's say you buy a set of 15 by 14 wide and you only want them 13 wide. Well, we can cut an inch off the back and make them 13.
Cool.
So, and let's say you buy a set of wheels and they're 15 by 12 and you want them 15 by 13. On pretty much any wheel manufacturer, I can add a 1/2 inch to the front and a 1/2 inch to the back before they're beadlocked. So I can take a 12-inch wheel and make it a 13. So
that's awesome.
That's really how we sort of got in business. We had people that needed odd back spacings because they call this wheel manufacturer and they say, well, all I can do is a 5-inch back space.
Yeah, they don't go halves or whatever.
They don't go halves. So. And then when the radial races started coming around, we needed wider rims with a narrow tire.
Yep.
And so trying to get that planted and get the right pattern of the tire was instrumental in getting the right width.
Well, thanks, Tommy. You know, there's so many people that have never heard that, which is really cool, and I think that's going to be good value for people to see, because these cars are getting out of control these days in a cool way, in the coolest way. But this is another piece of safety equipment, just like belts and parachutes and everything else that needs to be addressed.
It is, and typically it's an afterthought. You go to build a car, they'll think about the design of wheel that they want, but beadlocks are a lot of times the last thing that everybody thinks of. So, but we want to make sure that we're doing enough upfront educating to keep people, you know, looking at what their application is, what their horsepower is. We just came out with a new 24-bolt beadlock ring because Stevie Fast.
Because he needs it.
Because he needs it, and so we'll have those in a few weeks coming off the machine. So.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Tommy, thank you. I think we got a lot of good info that people probably haven't heard, and you can only talk to so many people in a day. So
Awesome.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Sir, appreciate it.